It has been a long and perilous journey. More than half a year ago, I started out a bracket tournament with the goal of pitching all the officially released pre-constructed Duel Masters decks against each other to find out which was the best. After many fierce battles, two of these decks have stood up above the rest. Twin Swarm has gone undefeated, cutting through all its opponents like butter, and while Rise of Dragonoids has had a rougher time and dropped some duels, it has mounted some incredible comebacks in explosive games and managed to rise itself to the top. Now it's time for these two decks to face against each other in the best of 5 to determine once and for all which is the best pre-constructed Duel Masters deck. So let's get started with game 1 of this grand finals of the bracket tournament. The two best structure decks facing against each other. We have Twin Swarm on the left in the Superman sleeves, and of course Rise of Dragonoids on the right in the Loki sleeves. So let us see which one of these titans, or finalists I should say, comes out on top. We have just charging mana in the first turns as expected. I mean, not much that can happen now, although Dragonoids does have Braid Claws in the deck, but it seems like they will not be coming out here. And I fully expect Twin Swarm to have a 2-drop because they run a lot of 2-drops in that deck, and there we go. We have an Adventure Boar coming out. And on the it's not gonna be sticking too long because on the Dragonoid side they will play Phantom Dragon's Flame to just neatly get rid of it. And now Bronzearm Tribe coming out, ramping up, and yeah, Twin Swarm just pretty much having the perfect start of like 2-drop into Bronzearm Tribe. If there's like a Bark Whip coming out as well or something, then it's probably not gonna be a great game for Dragonoids, although Firesweeper Burning Hellion is pretty good because it can trade for a potential Bark Whip, but there's just 2 creatures in Bronzearm Tribe, and Cavern Raider already spamming the board on Twin Swarm, 3 creatures, and oh, I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, Dragonoids plays Bruiser Dragon and is thinking about going for a shield, and they will take a shield with Fire Sweeper. I don't know if that was the best play because now a potential Bark Whip, and there is the Bark Whip, can just kill that Fire Sweeper for free. So maybe the Burning Hellion shouldn't have attacked. Maybe that was better, but who knows. I mean, on that board state it looks like a free shield, but I guess you kind of have to respect the Bark Whip. Bark Whip is just so strong in this format, and there we go, just Twin Swarm showing its explosive power. Bark Whip killing off one of the threats, and then 3 shields are just gone, just like that. And Cavern Raider took another Bark Whip to hand, so Rise of Dragonoids all of a sudden really not looking good. And now yeah, Bruiser Dragon can trade for the Bark Whip, but that would mean losing a shield. Or you can kill off 2 creatures with Bruiser Dragon and Pyrofighter, 2 small creatures. The problem is then another Bark Whip will come out, and then both Bark Whips would be at 7,000, and you're not ever getting rid of them. And you will also lose your Bruiser Dragon for free, so maybe the best play is still to just trade for the Bark Whip, take the L, and yeah, I guess there's not much else you can do. Kill the Cavern Raider here and just hope to some miracle that you have a shield trigger that can save you here. There's only 2 attackers on board, but we know there's a Bark Whip in hand, and there we go, Bark Whip comes out and it's just GG. So, Twin Swarm is off to the races with a 1-0 start, but before we get to game 2, I'd like to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Collector's Comet. Nowadays, Duel Masters cards can be pretty hard to find, at least over here in the West where the game has been dead for 20 years. Fortunately, there is now a platform dedicated to buying and selling Western Duel Masters cards, which is collectorscomet.com. To my knowledge, the only marketplace dedicated to non-Japanese Duel Masters cards. This makes it the place to go to if you want to add a couple pieces of shiny cardboard to your collection, or if you want to sell your spares with no additional fees on either side. Collector's Combat allows you to neatly filter through Duel Master's cards by various criteria such as set, rarity or name, which can make things easier to find than randomly searching them on the internet. Many people have already started to trade their cards here, so if you're looking for a place to buy or sell your Western Duel Masters cards, join them over on collectorscombat.com by following the link in the video description. Now back to our match. Moving on to game 2, 1-0 for the Twinstorm deck. I think Twinstorm hasn't lost a game so far in this tournament. I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll go over some stats at the end, but yeah, let's see if Dragonoids can somehow perform a miracle and defeat the undefeated here. With a Braid Claw start, it's looking pretty good. Honestly, I mean, you'd always take a Deadly Fighter Braid Claw start, especially in this like sealed or limited format, however you want to call it, with just precons. Double Deadly Fighter is pretty damn strong. These guys will be taking a total of 3 shields by next turn. And yeah, Adventure Boar can trade for one of them, but that's already 3 of your shields gone by turn 2, which is pretty scary. Following up with a Torch Ender and or Torch Clencher, what was the name of that card? Whatever it is. Already down to 2 shields on Twinstorm, so it's really not looking good. I mean, Adventure Boar can trade for one of them. Brawler Zagler, ooh, and Supersonic Jetpack, okay, so you can kill both of the Deadly Fighters actually. That's pretty good then, that's pretty good. But a Pyro Fighter coming out and both creatures are now gone. There's an argument to be made about actually swinging for shields here, because you could have taken both shields and then finished it off with the Pyro Fighter. But then if there's a shield trigger, maybe you're in trouble. Like if you run into a Tornado Flame and your Pyro Fighter dies, it's just horrible position for you. But yeah, now with the Bark Whip killing the Torch Ender, it's actually not looking great. Magma Dragon Melgars, and yeah, now Twinstorm has a comeback way into this game with this kind of play. I really kind of like going for shields in that position on Dragonoids position, but let's see what happens. There's still 2 dragons here, so next turn Lethal is still set up because the 2 Magma Dragons can break the last 2 shields, and there is a Pyro Fighter in hand. Let's see if there's like a Tornado Flame to get rid of one of them or something like that. Or another Bark Whip would even win the game here because of Freaky Mojo Totem's ability to give him Double Breaker. And let's see what happens. There's just a weenie guy here. Bark Whip is a Double Breaker now. And there's a Phantom Dragon's Flame killing off the Brad, or whatever his name is. And now with the Pyro Fighter, we could be going for lethal here. But if there's just one shield trigger, Twinstorm will just win because they can kill off one thing, and they're going for it, and there's no trigger, it's GG. So 1-1 going into game 3. I think this is the first duo that Twinstorm loses in this tournament, so already the Dragonoids deck proving that it deserves to be in this final. I think it's definitely stronger than at least I initially gave it credit for. I thought that deck wasn't that good, but it just has so many tools. Like with the Toto Pipichi and Coco Lupia, you can spam dragons. With Furious Onslaught, you have double breaking Braid Claws. Like you never know where the damage comes from. And a very slow start from Twinstorm in this game 3. Fairy Life is really not what you want to do. I think in general Fairy Life just doesn't fit the deck very well, because you really want to be playing a 2-drop attacking creature, and there's nothing that you're necessarily ramping up to with Fairy Life. And Phantom Dragon's Flame getting rid of Cavern Raider as well, so all the answers from the Dragonoids deck. And wow, no play on 5 mana from the Twinstorm deck. It looks like they bricked pretty hard. Again, we see that Fairy Life in the mana zone, that's probably the reason why. Cavern Raider coming out, but already like when you're off to such a slow start with the Twinstorm deck, it's really not great. And Toto Pipichi followed by Magma Dragon Magars, who has Speed Attacker and can start breaking shields, and I think already the Twinstorm deck is on the back foot here. But oh, there is a Bark Whip coming out, and Bark Whip is actually, I think, one of the strongest cards in the deck. One of the reasons why Twinstorm made it this far. it's just such a strong card in this format where there's not like that many strong answers to it. And another Barquip being searched out by Cavern Raider, which will probably be coming out next turn. And all of a sudden, Twinstorm is actually not doing all that badly, I don't think. It's going to be a close game for sure. Comet Missile being charged, completely useless in this matchup. And 2 Cocolupias, that's just interesting. And speed attacking dragons that cost 1 mana. I think the Gazaria's dragon was supposed to die as well, because yeah, Barquip was boosting the Cavern Raider up to 4k, so I think that's a misplay. The Gazaria's dragon should have just died there. Let's see if that ends up mattering. I mean, it's going to die to Barquip next turn anyway, but still, ooh, Stormranger coming out. I guess that's, yeah, they preferred playing that over Barquip because it's more mana efficient and you can play Barquip next turn. Stormranger's effect doesn't really matter in this matchup, but yeah, it's still a speed attacker essentially, and it can't really... being at 7,000 makes it difficult to kill. But a Magma Dragon Melgar's boosted by Energy Charger. Interesting, that actually takes it up to 6,000 power, which means it can swing over Barquip with the speed attacker ability from Toto PPG. So here is where playing the second Barquip would have been better, because they would have both been at 7,000. And the Firebirds are coming in, swinging at all the shields, no shield triggers. And there's just, wow, all of a sudden Twinstorm is down to 1 shield. It looked like they were doing so well. But honestly, like now, I mean, they can probably clear at least 1 or 2 creatures, but how do you stop 4 creatures when you have 1 shield left? That's just tough. Yeah, there's the Barquip and the Burning Mane coming in, and like I said, they can trade off 2 creatures, but there's 2 Cocolupias looking threateningly at those shields, and with the Pyrofighter, it just game. Game 4, and Twinstorm is down 1-2. If they lose 1 more duel, they are out of the tournament, and this is not a situation that I expected Twinstorm to be in, who has won, I think, every single duel up until this point. And wow, again, another deadly fighter start. It could be problematic for Twinstorm here, although Adventure Board can take care of the deadly fighter. So as long as there's no follow-up, and there isn't any, then that's actually even like debatably it's good for Twinstorm that they lost a shield here, because they have more options. And Rise of Dragonoids is, yeah, it's 0 creatures facing 2, and they are already, I think, in a bad position, because especially with Cavern Raider being able to generate more advantage, yeah, Deadly Pyrofighter can kill off the Adventure Board, but Cavern Raider can just keep generating advantage here. And there's a Bronze Arm Tribe into Barquip. Wow, that's just a big explosion of power and value, with Cavern Raider searching up another card here before it breaks a shield. And already, yeah, I mean, Twinstorm has a much better board. They have a sizable hand as well because of the shields and the Cavern Raider just now. So I think they're in a really good position. It seems like they took the Gonta, so not taking the Barquip this time around. They're thinking about it though, and taking Vrima instead maybe? No, still defaulting back to Gonta. So yeah, anyway, taking 2 shields here. And already, yeah, Dragonoids is down to 3 shields, facing a Barquip and a Cavern Raider, and that's really not a position that you want to be in. We know there's a Pyrofighter in hand, but it can't even kill off the Cavern Raider because it's boosted by the Barquip. And the best play here apparently is just a Cocolupia, setting up for maybe some more explosive plays next turn, but... Whew, that's really tough, and with a double creature play this turn, it's just really not looking good. Barquip and Cavern Raider breaking 2 more shields, Cavern Raider generating even more cards, and that is just not a position that Rise of Dragonoids deck wants to be in. Getting another Barquip, which is just, ooh, a Tornado Flame trigger, getting rid of 1 of the creatures. I mean, that can help. But let's see what happens here. There's a 3 mana tapped, so probably either, yeah, Toto Pipichi coming out and then Magma Dragon Malgars, who is a speed attacker, not trading into the Cavern Raider. I think you definitely trade there, but it doesn't matter. Too many creatures. We're heading into Game 5. What a final for this final. We are into the decisive game between Twin Swarm and Rise of Dragonoids, with Rise of Dragonoids going first. Of course, since they lost the last game, let's see if they can land a good Deadly Fighter Braidclaw opener. It seems like there's no such opener, but yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, honestly, this final is way more exciting than I thought it would be, given that, again, Twin Swarm hasn't really lost a duel in this tournament. I thought they would just run away with it, but it seems like Dragonoids is really putting up a good fight. It's helped by some breaks from Twin Swarm in some games, but oh my god, finally we see a Gonta on turn 2. This tournament, Gonta turn 2 has just meant victory for Twin Swarm, but actually this card, the Tonchander, is just a good counter to it, because now Gonta can't attack because the Torch guy can just go up to 5000 power. So yeah, there's the counter, there's the much needed counter for Gonta. It is the Torch Clencher, and yeah, that actually just paralyzes Gonta in place, which is something that I didn't think I would see in this like structure deck format. Gonta just not being able to attack 4000 is just not big enough to get over these guys. And yeah, Toto Pipichi being summoned here, it's just so... Oh, but Vrima coming out. Vrima means that next turn all of the beast folks will be getting double breaker, which means that... Oh... Yeah, I mean, it's not quite lethal yet, but next turn the Twin Swarm deck can just break all shields and just go all in. We've seen Vrima just doing so much work in this tournament. And there's a Toto Pipichi followed by a Phantom Dragon's Fame to kill off one of them. But still... Yeah, still the the Twin Swarm deck can break all shields. This is not really the creature that you wanted to play, because it doesn't really boost the amount of shields that you take. But yeah, there's all shields gone, and I just wouldn't imagine that Rise of Dragonoid is able to clear this board. I mean, how do you deal with 3 creatures here? Torch Clencher can kill one of them, but that's pretty much it. And it's just looking like it's gonna be over. But I do remember what happens this turn, and let me tell you, it's just completely wild. So at first idea is to play Gazaria's Dragon, because it actually gets the double breaker because there's no shields. But the double breaker is not good enough, because there's still one more shield that needs to be broken. But then I remember this play, and I would just say this is the craziest play I've seen in this entire tournament. There's a Deadly Fighter followed by Furious Onslaught, and let's just pause to appreciate the synergy here. So, Furious Onslaught makes Deadly Fighter Braidclaw a double breaker, but not only that, it makes it an Armored Dragon, and because it is now an Armored Dragon, it gets the Speed Attacker ability from Toto Pipichi, and not only that, but Furious Onslaught has also made Torch Clencher into a double breaker, so all of a sudden we were threatening 3 shields with what we had on board, and then with just 5 mana we have 2 double breakers and 2 attackers, and we're just threatening lethal. I've never seen like something go from 3 shields to lethal with just 5 mana ever when playing Duel Master, so the synergy here is just insane. Of course, 1 shield trigger from the Twin Swarm deck is enough to turn the game around, so let's see if there is such a shield trigger coming. If there isn't, then Dragonoids will be our champion. And no shield trigger in the first. Fairy Life, and it's not enough, it's GG. What a truly amazing finale this was. Rise of Dragonoids managing to barely squeeze out a victory in style against Twin Swarm, making it the champion of our structure deck bracket tournament. And let me tell you, to me at least, this was a surprise. When I unboxed the deck, I kinda dismissed it as being whatever, but it turns out that the explosive nature of dragons and dragonoids was enough to surprise me and perhaps many others. But against all odds, there was one person who predicted that this deck would win the tournament, and that person was Yummy Michael. So congratulations Yami on your predictions, you won this tournament's giveaway, which will be a sealed English DM01 booster pack, a signed card and a couple of surprise promo cards. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this match and the tournament in general. It was a blast making all of this, and until next time duelists, see ya!